isn't it always nice to start out a class period with a review? So, I mean, this is something you already knew, right, Mr. Michael? Awesome. Now, I do say awesome a lot without the extra word. So, Tyson, notice I haven't overused it yet. I said awesome, but not the...
Oh, I got it.
I didn't say anything. Here I am trying to do as he asks, and now he's mocking me.
You do it to me every day.
Oh, but are you staying awake in class?
Yes.
Okay. Do you appreciate that?
I do.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, heavens. What are the three categories of cost of goods sold? And really what I'm asking you, Mr. Warren, what are the T accounts down the left side? Can you name the first one? Direct materials. Yeah, that question sounds a little better than the first one I asked, doesn't it? Oh, Mr. Vogt, what's the next one? Direct labor. Brittany, what's the next one? Whose card I skipped for one person just to kind of throw her off just a little bit. Manufacturing overhead. It is not fair that they are alphabetically in order and sitting right next to one another. So as soon as one gets called on, the other knows I'm coming next. So that's one of the reasons that I'm tempted to shuffle them. And I'm splitting, you said manufacturing overhead, did you not? Yeah. And so I'm splitting manufacturing overhead into the variable overhead and fixed overhead components. Okay? Now, selling and administrative can also be split into this variable selling and administrative, fixed selling and administrative expenses. And so what we're going to do now, we're going to transfer these letters in blue to the other financial statement. Okay, Robina, pick one, anyone. Tell me, pick one of these 6 and place it over there for me if you can. Direct materials, where's it go? I bet we can clap louder than they could. I'm sorry? Variable costs? Or we could do some class action. They could hear that in there. Anyway, what's next? Tyson? Another one, please.
Direct labor, I would say that is a fixed cost. Well, then it's a variable cost.
Yeah. Do you know which ones are fixed? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So which ones do you think are going to be fixed? Fixed overhead.
If you're paying salaries, why isn't that a fixed cost?
You're not paying salaries, though. In the very incredibly simplified world of managerial accounting, which is the world that we are currently inhabiting, direct labor are not paid wages, or no, they're not paid salaries. They're paid wages, hourly wages. Now, in the real world, we know life's a lot more complicated than that. But up to the CPA exam and the CMA exam, we assume that direct laborers are paid hourly wages, and therefore it's variable. Okay. And I guess, really, I guess I can fill this in. Since I put those red marks on the board, this really isn't very hard for anybody, is it? What do you think? Somebody said something. Was it you, Mr. Michael? Yes, it was. What did you say? You should still go through the cards because you want one? You want one of these? Variable overhead, variable selling and administrative expenses, fixed overhead, fixed selling and administrative expenses. Now, believe it or not, I am kind of careful in the order in which I put these things on the board. Okay? So what What's another word, or what's a word we can use beginning with the letter P in place of cost of goods sold? Oh, what's going on here? Tyson, is it your turn? No, you've already gone. So, Nick, a word beginning with the letter P that we can use to describe cost of goods sold. Product cost, that's exactly right. So we've got product cost. What's S&A? Another word beginning with the letter P. Holden? So these are product costs, right? And these are? What's the piece of punctuation with which you would end a sentence? Period costs. They are period costs. I was trying to be helpful. It really threw him off, though. He was like, what did you just say, Dr. Fessler? And so that's exactly right, though. Product costs, period costs. Product costs, period costs. And notice what I did. If you look over here, I've got product costs above period costs. Which ones are on top of each other? Here we've got product costs above period costs, product costs above period costs. So here I placed product costs above period costs when I'm writing these out. Same thing over here. Which is first over there? Which is highest? Variable costs or fixed costs? Ekta? Over here, which is up on top? Variable costs or fixed costs? Variable. So what did I do here? I did variable costs, fixed costs, variable costs, fixed costs. And so it's a helpful way. You'll find that I do that on all my solutions too, if you're kind of looking carefully. And something very interesting to note, what goes into inventory right here out of these costs, Katie? Which of these costs go into inventory?
Direct material
Is that it?
and fixed overhead,
Is that all?
variable overhead,
Is that all?
no.
What?
Direct labor as well.
Yes, all of these. All, I mean, you could have said, instead of listing out all these, you just could have said cost of goods sold. Right. For a company that uses a variable cost income statement format, all that goes into inventory are these three. Okay. So this one right here, this guy, he's a funny little booger. I'm sorry? Yes, fixed costs. On a variable costing income statement format, fixed costs are treated as if they're a period cost, right? When do we recognize fixed costs on a variable costing income statement format? In the period they're incurred. Just as they're incurred, we recognize them, okay? And so that's a little different. And because the issue that we are going to address today, and to this point, we've remained silent. Yes, ma'am?
You said fixed costs are treated as one kind
A period cost. They're treated as a period cost. They aren't a period cost. They are a product cost by definition. They're a cost of producing the product. But they're treated on the variable costing income statement format as if they were a variable cost.
They're treated like a variable?
Oh, sorry. They're treated as
Period cost.
period cost. Sorry. Period cost. Thank you. Treated as if they're a period cost. Now, because the issue we're going to talk about today is, will operating income under the two income statement formats always be the same? Up to this point, I've described it, hopefully. You can check the videos to make sure. Hopefully, I've described it as a couple of